But I think that's the thing when we talk about diversity and inclusion, it's the performance of diversity. So again, like hiring, you have higher education has done so much in regards to trying to address the anti-racism practices in every institution. You have universities who have done this cluster hiring of faculty. You have institutions who are creating race and equity and anti-racism centers and the study for race and racism. Like you have, everybody has done a center, a space, institute. Something has happened around understanding and further understanding race and racism in our country. And in some aspect of it, it's again a thing of, is this performance? Because when we've been doing this. We've had race and racism centers. We have had centers that have done the studies of race in higher education. We've had reports that have come out. We've done this work to tell you that there is a systemic issue, structural issue. There is oppression that deals with racism within our country. So to do the centers and hiring of people, it now becomes a thing of, what are you going to do with all that information? What are you going to do with all of these people that you have hired? Have you created, like Brandon was saying, any policies or structures or systems in your own system that protects them from certain things? This, I don't even know if I've ever noticed, but even the number of women of color who stepped down and have talked about the racism that they've experienced in higher education as being either faculty or department chairs, or these are type researchers bringing it. Like the fact that Cornel West had to say, I'm going to leave because you denied me tenure. And this is one of the most prominent researchers, and he's the most vocal. I will give him that. He is very vocal. So I think a part of it too is the fact that it's censoring. I think they said no because he is very vocal, but has always been vocal. Like he has never not been vocal. So how all of a sudden are you not giving him tenure? Because of what reason? So I think again, it's the performance of the DEI work. And I think the other part of that, I think, has been frustrating for those of us who have done this work, who have said to the institutions, who have said to higher education administrators, who have said to systems that we need to make changes within our system and not in programming. So don't hire us to come in and to be the advisors for the Black Student Union. Don't hire us to come in and do some social justice institutes or some trainings and workshops on cultural competency. And that's it. No, allow us to come in and do a very thorough analysis and critique of the institutional policies, the structures around language, processes. How are we handling one another when it comes to various issues? Is there a system that addresses racism? Like, what is your protocol through HR? Like, we don't even talk about the fact that there are federal regulations that are protecting classes when it comes to race, but yet we're talking about we have to figure out how to do this work. Like it's already been there, but it's the performance of it. And I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna stop, but then you have the thing of you're bringing in all these individuals to do all of this work. And if it doesn't work, you're going to go back and say, well, we brought you, we did what you asked. So you asked us to bring in people of color, let them be the center who do all the work and who tells us how to make this work. But we didn't see much progress and change. So we tried it your way. Now we're going to go back to what we are used to. And that's what I feel like is going to end up happening at some place. Like, again, we have over 5,000 institutions in higher education in the US. And you have this influx of individuals who are going to come in and want to do the work. And then you have some of the old regime still in position who don't want to change. I mean, you have people who are combative, where you have people who are saying, I want to do this work. I'm here to come and help change you. But yet you have administrations, you have boards, you have donors, you have alumni who are very vocal and powerful and influential, to where you put a stopgate in front of these DEI professionals that you hire to say, well, you can do this, but you can't do this because this person is going to be upset, or it's going to influence this money that we typically get every year, or it's going to make this this funder, or whatever the case may be, or we might offend this researcher because they've always brought all this research money in. But if you do anything with their program, that might impact. Like, we have to remove the red tape. So yeah, you brought them in, you did the hiring clusters, you have the center, you have the new PhD program at University of Kentucky to focus on diversity and inclusion. Are you allowing them to actually do the work? Are you giving them the resources? Are you giving them some of that money that's been coming in and being donated to say, yes, great, and do this work? Are you giving them what they need, the access? Are you removing the barriers from the other departments in the area that are putting that stop gate there to prevent them from being successful? So I think what I want to see, and I think where also I agree with Brandon, is I've done the work, I've been in that space, and I want to see more of the action and not the performance. So don't perform and just hire me. I want you to remove the barrier so I can do what you hire me to do. So that way we can start actually having some movement and doing this anti-racist. Because we've been trying to be anti-racist forever. We keep getting blocked.